Hey everybody, how's it going? Gloria, howdy howdy. Is everybody ready to do some 3D modeling? Oh, what happened? Oh, I lost my screen, hold on. Bad news bears. Very careful. Gotta be very careful these days, you'll lose your screen. We'll just wait a few minutes for everybody to flood in, as it were, to class. If everyone can let me know you're here. Gloria, I see you. You apparently are here. See if this still works. Done. Look at that. Jen, welcome to class. Okay, I think we're about ready to start going. I think maybe you're all here. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm gonna check. Check my channel and see how many people it says are here. It says we have 4 people here, so it's probably our class then. All right, I'm gonna assume everybody's here. So we're gonna hop right into our last speed model. This is day 13 of our game asset 3D class, a condensed version for the semester. So yeah, so this is gonna be our final speed model. And it's gonna be a classic. We're gonna model the fire hydrant in just a minute. But I wanted to go over really quick about the last few days of class. Because guess what? After today, there are only 2 days left of class. 2 days left, which is not a whole lot, right? So here's the plan today. So I'm gonna write it down. So this is day 13. I put this down on Discord as well as Canvas, but I just like to repeat it so I make sure that there's no confusion. So day 13 right now, the first hour, we're gonna speed model the hydrant. And usually I kind of hide my screen from you all and go over it afterwards after you've had a chance. I think this one I'm just going to keep talking through the whole thing. We're all going to model together. It's going to be a prop. So the idea here is you guys are all building your houses, your buildings. So am I, whatever we're building. And that's great. The building's its own big piece with tileable textures. Then occasionally you'll have some props, some tree. Last week we did the speed model of the palm tree in a pot. And that type of thing, that those props go outside of your house to make it feel more interesting, lived in, and set dresses it. So today we're going to be modeling a fire hydrant with that same idea. We'll see how far we get within the hour. Maybe we'll get to a little bit of a texturing on it, but it would be the same as the prop model you did. Second hour, I was going to take a look briefly at your current projects. I think we may just quickly do those on Twitch today because it's not so much a huge critique on how far you've gotten, but more of let's allow you time to keep working on it. So we're going to look at your images that you posted on Discord. Third hour. Third hour, I am going to be here on Twitch, working on my building model and answering questions for you all. If you have any questions of how to do things or look dev type stuff, you can ask me and I'll probably be able to answer that in real time on the current building I'm working on so you can see what I do on there. Does that sound... So that is lab time. That's open lab, open office, open class time to work on your projects. while Professor works on his and answers question. Okay, so day 14, that's tomorrow. Gloria says that sounds great. Perfect. So day 14 tomorrow is going to be a project review. So this will probably be on Zoom at the beginning of the class. It'll be on Zoom. I'll send out a Zoom link. And I think the plan here is first hour. Normally this would be the full 3 hours, but we only have 4 students. So the first hour, I am going to open up your projects in Maya on Zoom. We'll call this Professor Project Critique. And we'll take a look. Thank you, Exka. We'll take a look at your projects. Someone really came in and just gave me a snooze emote. That's awesome. We'll look at your projects. I will help you with those on Zoom, give you some advice for how to proceed on Zoom, and then probably the second and third hours will be open class time again. Only because I don't think that'll take that long, and then you can work on your projects. Okay, so day 14, or day 15, this is the last day of class. I'm gonna make this completely optional. Cheers from the Ryan stream. Thank you, XGAN. Thanks for the snoozer. Say cheers to Ryan. For those students in my class, Ryan is one of the other professors who streams modeling at night. And he's super boring, so his students come in and they make those snoring faces because Ryan put them to sleep in his stream. Okay, so day 15 is going to be optional. I will be here for the full 3 hours working on the building model and answering questions. This is your time to catch up on your final project, to work on your final project, catch up on any projects you may have missed, and to ensure that you have an excellent semester. I want you to succeed, as I'm sure you want to succeed. So I'm giving you that extra time to make sure that you met those milestones. If you have any questions, I will be here to answer them while I work on my model. So day 16 is the day in between when assignments are due. So day 15, that's your Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon. That's the last day of class. Like I said, it's optional, but I will be here working to answer questions and be here for you generally. Your projects are due, I believe, check Canvas and make sure, because we have like a 14-hour time difference between Utah and South Korea. So make sure it's up to you to check Canvas. I believe submissions were due at 10 a.m. Thursday Mountain Standard Time, which I think is 12 hours ahead of that. So I think you're ahead of me. So that would be Thursday around midnight-ish. But it's up to you to make sure you have the right time. Your Canvas will probably tell you the right time. So check that. But that means you should have a full day between our last class and when you have to submit your assignments. I think I'm all caught up on grading for the most part. Obviously, I'll need to grade the hydrant, so let me know if you have any questions. I kind of covered this with the last class, but the biggest thing to worry about is when you don't turn anything at all, I can't give you a grade for it. So give me a reason to give you a good grade, and I'm happy to do it. You just have to give me the material to grade, okay? I want this class to be enjoyable for everybody, but that also means you have to meet the course objectives. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, maybe. Okay, let's model the fire hydrant. And we'll look at your fire hydrants in an hour as well as your images. Jen Sean says, yep, awesome. Okay, let's do this. Turn off my little overhead cam. I love this little camera, by the way. It's been a great teaching tool. Okay, here we go. We're in Maya. Let's get kick-started. Dove soap, awesome. Gloria, yes, we got yes, yup, yes. Those are all the answers I'm looking for. Okay, so we have about 50 minutes. Let's model the hydrant. I'm counting on you to model the best fire hydrants I've ever seen. I'm gonna model mine and do a little talking. You can listen to me in the background while I'm hanging out. First thing I'm gonna do is save my scene so that when Maya crashes, and it will, if yesterday's any indication, or 2 days ago, that I have a copy saved somewhere. We have this chill music going on. Is my audio coming through okay? I tried to fix it so it wasn't cutting me out all the time. Hopefully it's okay now. Good, I'm told it's fine. That's great. Go. Folder, hydrant, boom. This is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna call this hydrant 001.
You've got a great idea. You know it'll work, but nobody else believes in you. Would you open 19 credit cards to make it happen? Tito Beverage did, and now we're drinking Tito's handmade vodka. It's 100%
Great,
corn and
great,
certified
Tito.
gluten-free.
Okay, we're in our side view. Let's import an image. Image plane. Import image. Da, 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 da.
Financial decisions has never been more important. When you turn to Rocket Mortgage, we can help guide you to those right decisions now.
Teaching.
Mortgage rates are near historic lows, so now
Hydrant. There it is, fire hydrant. It's so lovely, so majestic. The beautiful fire hydrant. It will make a great prop to any building level. In fact, we'll probably bring it into mine, even though there's a fire hydrant in there. Move it off to the side here so we can get started. And this bad boy looks like a cylinder. Usually I model this to smooth, but this class I didn't cover sub-D modeling. So that will have to be in a future course you guys take on 3D modeling. Try and center this thing. Okay, so I'm going to take the cylinder and kind of block out the major forms of this thing as best I can. Looking pretty good. So you'll notice I purposely picked a skewed image. I always do this. I don't pick one that's perfectly on because I like to make my students think. And usually I don't let you guys model with me because there's no one way to model. I'm drinking some kombucha and it is strong. Like I said, there's no one way to model. So I usually like to just leave you all to figure it out. Today is a different day. Today is a day when this is our last one, so I just want to have fun with this model. I want everybody to enjoy themselves. I'm adding edge loops to make out these larger forms. I could have done like extrusion modeling. Never a bad idea, but I'm not. I am just adding edge loops. Cylinder. See this? We kind of have like an arrow. Kind of looks like an arrow pointing up. This is also more polys than I want. So I don't know if I've added all these edge loops if I can still reduce it, but I'm going to try. Look at that. I reduced it to 12 and it looks like hot garbage. So much that I'm just mad and I'm going to delete the whole thing. Remember, it's okay to like delete things and start over. 20 is just too many divisions. I don't want that. I don't want that kind of responsibility. This is supposed to be low poly. 12 is still kind of high, but that's a lot better than 20. And if I want to reduce it later, maybe I can. You know what? Yeah, we're just going to leave it like this. I'm probably going to add more up here, but I'll show you. I don't know. You know what? I don't even know how I'm going to do this. So I'm not going to start making promises. I'm not going to start making 3D promises. What I am going to do is I'm going to lie and do some, no, I'm not going to lie. forever. This is the bottom. This is the top. I wanted this to be perfectly straight. Gloria said something was fine. I'm not sure what. I hope it really is fine. It's up to the top then. That's the top. That's the full height. The full Monty of our fire hydrant. Okay, let's start adding some edge loops. We're gonna have to redo what I did because I decided to destroy it. Insert edge loop. Where are you? Insert edge loop. Object mode. Boom. Insert edge loop. There we go. Shift right click. Create another one. Let's just put one up here. Boom. That's kind of the height of cap D. Add another one. Scoot it out. Yes, yes. Holding down V, I can snap it down. Boom. So that's starting to feel a little bit, it's feeling a little bit fire hydrant-y. Okay, so now I just need to add enough detail that I can get the silhouette, make it feel like a hydrant without, you know, going too crazy. Let's do this. So here is this section here. That goes up to that bolt, and I'm just gonna stick a bolt in there eventually. I'll show you how I'm gonna do it. I'm assuming it's a 5-sided bolt. It could be a 4. Let's look at the front. So looking at the front, this the tool that it would take to unscrew this, I'm assuming is the same one that it would be the top to crank it on and off. So I'm gonna assume that's 5 bolts up top, although I can't be sure, but I'll just guess. Okay, so we'll go back into our mode. So you see that? It's starting to look like the fire hydrant a little bit. Nice thing about low poly is we don't have to worry about extra subdivision. What you see is what you get. I used the wrong tool there. I used the multi-cut. Delete that floating vertice. Let's start adding some edge loops. And we can always change our mind, but this one actually matches right where it's supposed to go. This is the bottom of this circular bit. There. Hitting Y, I can reset the tool. There's another one up top here. This one caps on, cap off. And already this is getting pretty high poly. So it's like, that's the tough bit. How low poly do you want to keep this, right? Texture wise. That's looking pretty good. That's looking like that top. Looking pretty okay. You want to see how high or low poly it is? Let's see, display, polygons, actually heads up display, poly count. So already it's 264 triangles. That's not bad. It's not bad. I might try something weird with this. Maybe. I have some ideas for me. Okay, but you know what? We're just gonna keep going with this. So let's take this cap. So this is that top cap bit. Oh, actually, I just need to insert another. This is that little cap where I'll top bit in. Good enough, fair enough. We're gonna decide how much detail we want to put into this, but not just yet. Let's just hold off. Okay, so let's take this and make another cylinder. This one we will make a 5-sided. Oop. Okay, and this is where this top piece will go. Bada bing, bada boom. I want this to be cap. Save me a couple triangles. Okay, so now we need to make these front arm bits. Normally I'd remake it out of this if I'd made those fluting, but I didn't. Oh, I might try it. You know what? I might make this. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. I know what we're going to do today. Okay. So I want this to kind of be like this one. So this is low poly though. So I just decided how I'm going to do this very low poly. This has these fluted pieces right here. I want to have those on here because it's interesting. Even though I may not want to put as many in there because it's so low poly. But I can afford a little bit of polygons. So I'm going to select, I'll see if this works, but I'm going to select every other one and hit extrude face. And then, how do I want to do that? So I can extrude these all in like that. I'm going to grab the box and I can shrink them all now. Grab the little boxes. And it does not look the way I want it to. Oh yeah, I can shrink it. There we go. So I can uniformly shrink them in. And then using this, I'll get them to kind of where I want. So at least it's not exactly like that one, but it's got, I like the shape a little more. So let's see, I'm gonna go to mesh display, soften edges on the whole thing. So you can see those, the fluting at least. Gives it a little bit more decoration, even though I'm not staying perfectly true to the model. Because it's low poly, I'm gonna harden some of these edges up. Select the ones I wanna harden, not extrude. Like this one and this one. Let's go to mesh display, harden edge. Kind of cool. Now I might even harden these ones inside maybe. Let's try that. We're going for low poly here. I don't know if I even need all this, but it makes me feel better. So it's okay. Let's see what the insides look like when I harden those. Kind of cool. I don't know. It looks interesting though, right? It's still very low poly, but it's got some style to it. And that's all I want. Just a teeny bit of style. This is super low poly after. It may not match the other one. Whatever. All right, so there's my there's my fire hydrant so far. After this, I think I'm going to show you a different way to do it. Okay, but since we did those ones, we should probably do the top ones that kind of match. Let's grab these. Now, what I could do, so here, actually, here's what I'm going to do. Since I don't want to, I could go through the whole process of recreating that. What I'm actually going to do, just show you how I can speed up the process, is now I'm just going to grab this one and duplicate it. So I'll drag it up a little bit. Grab that piece that I just modeled out and shift select everything else and delete it. All right, so now I have this unique piece up here, which I didn't deselect it right. So let me try this again. Try and actually select everything I'm supposed to. Close enough, and then I can delete everything else. Okay. This guy, I didn't want that. Didn't want that. Okay. Because I put all that work in there, and I don't want to rework it again, I'm going to now go mesh, modify center pivot. Okay, let's look at it from the side view. And so this is going to be the little section up here. So I'm just going to duplicate that, scale it in, and just get it to fit as close as humanly possible. This. Grab this edge. This just saves me a fraction of time. Just a fraction, that's all I need. Scale that to match about exactly where I want it. Now I didn't have to repeat that process. I just shoved it in there. Right? And so I want to sew that all in, but just to save me a little bit more time, I'm just gonna pull this out. I'm gonna use this to recreate the front of it too. I'm gonna try and save as much work as possible. I can be as lazy as possible. Okay, so this will be the front. Let's just look at this from the side view here. Bring this up to about the width that this front piece is. Probably about there, right? Okay, so this will be my front piece. Since these fluting, it's very similar. This is a low poly version. I'll just zoom this one up. Then I'll just grab this section here and we'll just scoot it down. All right, so that looks pretty close to that. We're just trying to hurry. I will call that good. There's this front arm piece. I will start to do some extrusion modeling. Extrude. Bada bing. Oop, bada boom. Extrusion. So this is looking pretty good. This is looking pretty good. Kind of, we're going to extrude it a couple times, just looking at the shape of this. And so it goes like that. Extrudes out. Extrudes in again. And we'll call that good because I don't want to reduce too much. We've got the bit that the chain sticks onto. I will just merge these to the center. That's not good. Merge edges to center. There we go. All right, so there we go. This piece just goes right back into the arm. So I'm just going to do something like this. Extrude edge. Extrude edge in. Out again. Back up. So that's where like that chain piece. One more. So we can shrink the whole thing, but you can see there's that whole big front of this. And if you look at where the relationship of where this cap ends and starts, it's just right past the. You want to make sure the whole thing fits within. We'll just shrink the whole thing down just a pidge. A pidge. Okay, so now that we've created one of these are the same. This is what the arm looks like that goes around the sides too. This is nowhere near that. I'm laughing, but that does not look like what it's supposed to at all. What's this? And this should be the same cap that goes on the front. Stick that right in there. And we know this should be the same size. What is on top kind of gives me the idea that it's this. And I think it tapers in slightly. Select our object again, and we're going to flare this out. Does what I want it to. Lovely. All right, so there's the front of our fire hydrant. You know what's weird? Like when I go to different locations, like even when I was in Korea, I was taking photographs of the fire hydrants everywhere. You got some really interesting fire hydrants in Korea. And I'm like obsessed. Since I always model these in my classes, I'm obsessed with fire hydrants. Like, I'm trying to remember that. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's pretty close. I think it's in Future City, near Songdo. There's that store with the big slide in it. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Now I have to look it up really quick. It's not the Hyundai, not Triple Street. Cute. No, where is it? There it is. I found it. It was... No, that's not it. It wasn't in Shanghai. Yansugu. That's where it was. The slide of Square One. Yeah, the Square One Mall in Yansugu. They had some cool... Let's go fire hydrants out of there. They also had yummy KFC there too. Okay, so now that we've got this down, so I'm going to select this front piece of this whole thing, and we're going to mesh combine. I am just going to slide the arm to the center. Really doesn't matter because we're going to switch this around anyway. But for now, slide this to the center. Can rotate it out. Control D, J, and now these will be the smaller arms sticking out the side. Slide this down so it's about that size. The only difference is even though this arm shrinks, this thing should be the same size, but it's not because I shrunk it down. So I may redo that side on that. So I think the tip of it should go about outside the cap again, about there. If that small hexagonal thing didn't change, I think I'd self. But let's be accurate. Let's be truly accurate here. So we'll select this one. I mean, in video games, got to make sure the bolts are the right size, right? Okay, here we go. See that? That is, it needs to go like over this whole very angry. Center it. Bada bing, bada boom. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, so we're just gonna hit shift and we're just gonna collapse this actually. Edge ring and collapse, boom. Delete it, boom. It's vertice in, snap. All right, and that's good enough for me. It's good enough for you guys. Some of these. Pinch. There we go. There we go, my friends. The only problem is if I want to add this chain piece, then it needs to be more accurate. Sorry, but it does. Ryan Bound is going to come in here and just reach through the screen and say, I can't have that. So, okay, so here we go. That's more accurate. I'm just talking to myself now. I'm just talking to myself. It's sad. It's a sad thing. Okay, so let's, we're gonna mesh combine this again. Mesh combine, bada bing, bada boom. And now I'm going to hold down D and V and move that pivot there. Hit Control D to duplicate and then hold down J while I rotate. Snappity snap, 90 degrees. And there is our low poly fire hydrant. It's looking pretty good. There's a bunch more I could do to this, but I don't know that I would want to do to it. Such as sewing this all in as one piece. Depends how low poly I go. The thing it doesn't have yet is this base piece here. So I'm gonna add that. Insert edge loop, kind of guesstimate where it should be. We'll say about right there. Grab that band, extrude edge. If we grab this blue bar, it just extrudes these all uniformly. Grab that green one, we can actually shrink it down slightly. Okay, and the other thing, we have this goober sticking out of it. So we've got to decide if we want that or not. If we want this thing to be symmetrical, which I don't know. The question is, do we really care? I guess I don't. Okay, so this is going to be, we're just going to add it here. Not onto that. Switch it. We're going to do it again. Extrude to about as far as I want it, which is about there, and then just going to stretch it in slightly. Okay, so the bottom of this, I want it to be a flush again. Slap it down. So my guess, so like on something like this, I would say I'm probably never going to see the bottom of it. So why have a bottom, right? I mean, I could, but let's just assume I'm just going to sit it on the ground. We're never going to pop this thing out. So no bottom. No bottom. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the fire hydrant. There's still a lot of hard edges on it that I want to have smoothed. Namely, like pretty much all of it. Like all of this guy just looks hard and awful now. So I'm going to select both of these. And then we'll have to decide which ones we want hardened. Mesh tools, mesh display. Soften it. Now we need to decide which ones we want softened, which ones hardened. Which I've decided I want these. And okay, look at that. Look at that. It's coming to life. Nope. These. So you know what? I mean, we can extrude it. Okay. Okay. So here we go. So if we were gonna unwrap these, UV unwrap them, we'd have a lot of work to do. We could adjust. Really, I could have kept this the same and just shrunk that down. Those could have been the same UVs. But what if we want to do this unique? Let's just do this unique. We have these chains. We almost forgot the chains. How dare I? All right, let's see how fast we can make these chains. Some of them. So those screw onto a little cap underneath. Hook onto this. So the idea is you take those caps off, they don't get lost. Kombucha, am I right? All right, let's look at this. Let's look at that. So we have this little round dealie. Let's see how cheap we can do this. So let's grab one of these. It's called the torus. It looks like an inner tube. Polygon torus. I'm gonna see if we could possibly just finagle this. If not, I have some other ideas to go as easy as possible on that. So we want to go poly. So let's open up our poly torus. Subdivisions, let's lower them. Let's lower them to 12, I guess. Height. Let's try 6. They don't need to be that big around. Our radius. Lower that down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is looking like maybe what we want. So if we look at this, this needs to wrap around this Johann Sebastian Bach. Okay, so let's grab this. Let's widen that up so it looks like a ring around it. Other problem is I pull this out now because it's one object. This middle point's mad at me. Put that back. Okay. This is this ring, and really, this doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to snap this to the center point of it. It's down. Interesting. Scale it up. So it looks like it's in there. Can come back in. So there's our ring. Then I'm going to harden these edges. Looks like it should.
About a decade ago, the U.S. government decided to do something they'd never done before.
Today, more than 60% of all U.S.
I'm going to do the same thing to these.
will be able to, for free, prepare and file their taxes online.
They thought they were creating a free online tax filing system. Instead, what they made was this trap. A trap that let huge companies take millions of dollars from low-income Americans. Hear how that happened on Reply All episode 144, Dark Pattern. Tap now to listen on Spotify.
Jay Farner here, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions.
It's like they're targeting me. I have actually listened to that Reply All episode. It was super fascinating. Basically, the whole gist of it is that filing your taxes online is a free process anyway to any citizen in the United States. And what they did is they had lobbyists go in and make people think that they had to use one of these tax software to actually do something that is free to everyone. So basically, they're making $40 off of everybody. Something completely free. Tater07, how you doing, my friend? Okay, let's harden this edge. Harden this one out for fun too. Okay, here we go. There we go. Look at that. That's not too bad. And this entire thing needs to be hardened. Can I just select all the edges? This cap. Okay. So we got that low polyed out. Now I want to create this this shape, this bent shape on it, which seems like it should be pretty easy. I'm just gonna try, and here's what I'm gonna do. Just so I can mess this up properly. Pull this one out and see how I can do this. So my gut tells me I could just pull that down into that shape just by adding some edge loops. So there's a couple ways to do this. I don't want to try and do this. It's gonna do it. Actually, let's chamfer this vertex. So insert, smooth split, transfer vertex, connection, offset edge loop tool. That's what I wanted. Let's try this one. This is the offset edge loop tool. It'll place an edge loop on two sides of an edge loop, so it's still symmetrical. And we'll just decide where I want this. So let's put it right here in the middle, and let's grab them all. Just start moving this thing down. I don't know. So the whole thing looks like this, though, right? The problem is it's not rounded anymore. I'm okay with it. Let's fix it. Let's just try and fix what's broken here. Okay, we're just gonna rotate this side, a couple more edges. Here, add one. If I really am concerned about this thing being symmetrical, change it. It's vertices than we have. These you know what? Good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Okay, so let's soften the whole thing. Soften edge, bada bing, bada boom. Kind of looks like this, right? This thing attached to here. But so let's just delete that one. Snap it back into place like you do. Now we can just delete it, duplicate it, and rotate it. Snap it to each one of these. I only want to do this once. Select this. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. Okay. Now it has those little hooks on it. This edge. Harden these edges like a hardened criminal. Didn't hard those outside pieces because I wanted slightly. Got some chill music while we model. It's pretty cool. Okay, we've got about 10 more minutes on this. So I don't know if I'm going to get into texturing this. Other than we could just put a red texture on it. Lame, I know. But it's a start. So it'll have its own unique texture. Really, the whole thing is that's not enough. It's not enough just to be red. You need to have some cracks, some wear and tear, some splatter marks, some ambient occlusion where these little divots are. But we can only do what we can do. Let's harden these. Harden edge, bada bing, bada boom, harden. So we're starting to make our little fire hydrants come to life, right? We've got these little doodads hooked up on both sides here. Now we have that little S-shaped hook. Yeah, I just don't know what to say there. How should we create that? Okay, we're gonna try something weird here. Hopefully you'll all approve. But I am going to jump into a little tool called, let's see. Polygon primitives, curve tools. We're gonna grab our curve tool, CV curve tool, EP curve tool, whatever. I'm just gonna match this. So I'm gonna click around this whole snake tube thing, and we'll make that into a tube. So I'm just clicking along it, show you what it's gonna do. See, it's gonna form something called a spline that follows this. And if I go into the control vertices of it, I can adjust those. Make this S shape a little bit more correct. But really, what does correct mean anyway? I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to speed model. So I don't want things to be perfect. I just want there to be things. Okay. We'll call that pretty good. Okay. So I'm going to grab this little S I made. And I'm going to do something that I haven't shown you all yet. I'm going to create a new cylinder. I'm going to shrink it down to about the size I want it to be. That's a little vague. But I want it to be about the thickness, the right thickness as this object is. So that it all feels pretty accurate to the image. Bring it back over here by my S. Now just bear with me here for a moment, okay? This is I assure you this is going to be a little weird. Okay, and now I'm going to make sure that this is just 6-sided because I want it to be a small cylinder. I said 3, but I really meant 6. Really 5 would have been plenty. In fact, probably want it to be 5 because 5 is low enough that it still has a rounded curve. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pivot onto this top plane. And then I'm going to hold down C and middle mouse on this cylinder. You can see if I hold down the C key, I can slide it along a curve, and I'm going to slide it all the way to the end of this curve right here. Rotate it so that it looks like it's following that path. I usually mess this up once or twice when I start it, but I'm pretty confident I can get it to work. So now I'm going to hit face mode. So I'm going to select that face that I want to extrude. Then I'm going to shift select my spline. Now I'm going to go to mesh extrude. Sorry, edit mesh extrude. Boom. And you can see that it extruded all the way to the tail of this S. Kind of weird, right? But I have this little pop-up here, this little poly extrude face pop-up. You guys don't have to do this, but if you want to go back to look at the VOD of how to like make pipes and curlicues and different things, it's kind of a handy modeling tool. So on this division section, the division is only set to 1. If I select that division and start sliding it and raising the division levels, I can raise it enough until it follows that path. And just like that, I can reduce it until it's just right. That feels good. So that it follows that S as close as it possibly can. I'm going to delete some of the faces off the end of this. I don't need those. I don't need the hassle, you know. Just to center. Now, if I delete my history, I've got that nice little this thing. That nice little this thing, right? Mesh, edit, delete all the type, history. That curve has served its purpose. I can delete it. Well, let me show you something cool. Before I deleted that history though, see if this still works. Hide this for a second. So I can actually go to this curve. I'm going to select one of those. After I deleted that, it may have broke my connection. Display, show last. See if it'll work. Yeah, I can actually still move those control vertices, change the shape of this curve, which is pretty darn cool. Connection. As soon as I delete my history, I can't do that anymore. You have served your purpose, little curve, and I will now oh no, don't do that. And I deleted it. Edit. Delete all by type history. That was the problem. Now I can delete that S. Okay, here we go. So let's go to mesh display, soften edge. There we go. There's our S. These caps, because I'm a sucker for making hard edges hard that should be hard. Okay, we've got about 6 minutes left on this. So I'm gonna harden those edges. But you should be able to see that essentially, this guy over. Forms. I can start modeling out all those little chains now. This would snap onto here. Rotate it so it looks like it goes where it's supposed to. Snappity snap. And then if I wanted to, let's see. So instead of yeah, that's easy. So I'm gonna make another torus. I've done lost all my tools. Poly modeling. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. I'll make another torus. See how fast I can do this. We only have a few more minutes. A lot of this can be reused. Poly torus, we want subdivision of 6. Keep you simple. Subdivision axis, too many. 12. Subdivision radius, shrink you up just a little bit. Then we will cut you in halvesies. Chow. This will be where those hook onto. Shrink you down a little bit and grab the tail edges of this and move them up. Stick you right here. This is where that is holding on to these guys. Rapidly here. That is feeling pretty good. I can even grab those and soften it. A couple ways we could do this. Same type of deal. Make another torus to be the actual links. These are just regular chain links, I think. They might be bent. Oh, they're totally bent. That's too much work. That is too much work. We're going to make them normal chains because that's too much work.
And then there's crispy. Try the crispiest Tyson crispy chicken strips ever crisped.
Play with these again. Really, I should have just kept one of these at 5 or 6. These will be my chain links.
You know it'll work, but nobody else believes
Run
you.
these down
You
to
opened
12
19
again.
credit cards to make it happen. Tito Beverage did, and now we're drinking Tito's handmade vodka. It's 100%
I'll
clean,
just
certified
okay.
gluten-free.
Let's adjust the radius.
100% alcohol by volume or 80%.
So we want to be a little bit smaller than the S curve.
Hey Spotifyers, click or tap the banner.
Radius. Here we go. Boop, 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 boop.
For your summer rewind. We've made you a new playlist
Come on.
featuring your old summer
0.24 is too big. Let's try 0.1.
now streaming exclusively on
I'm gonna type this in now. Yeah, 0.1 feels good. Okay, so let's shrink these. 0.1 might be too big. Still. 0.2. 0.15. That feels okay. So now we could actually just shrink this in a little bit, or grab these edges and scale them out slightly. That's what we'll do. I think that'll work, and then I could delete. Or just scale them in. Depends. If we want to twist this, we could leave those. Should we try twisting it? I mean, that wouldn't be that hard. I mean, it's just a matter of doing something like this. And that's kind of what they look like. Scale them in. Hear you all saying, yeah, it's fine. So there are our, I think they should be thicker, but you know what? We're just gonna deal with it. I guess I could grab each one and thicken it. Kind of match the shape I'm looking for. This is quick and I just need to hurry. We got modeling to do. Got a couple more minutes on this model before we submit to Canvas and Discord. Calm, soothing sounds of 3D modeling. Just like your mama used to make. Okay, here we go, my friends. So we got these little twisted and curvy little, yeah, we'll call them good enough. Seeing if we wanted, modify, center pivot, boom. Which we may want. These would all just connect. So they go. See, what's fun is I might just twist these later just to get them where they need to go, because we're trying to do this fast. Side view here. Go. Control and delete. Control and okay. All these to match up a little bit, but that is kind of cool. Those actually kind of fit. Go figure, you know? Better. You know what? Let's adjust this. Let's make this work. Let's make this happy. These, if they sag down just a little bit more, can make them pretty copacetic, I think. Gonna do it. We're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. This guy needs to go a bit more. That 3D Mentor. Yeah, you always have to come and interrupt. Ugh. Okay, chains have been installed. They're connecting that. Now, since 3D Mentor is here, we're going to show him how to really create an amazing red texture for this model, okay? So here we go. We're going to make a tileable texture now with 3D Mentor's help. I'm going to go to Photoshop. Hydrand or Hydrand? Did I misspell that? Someone just told me I spelled hydrant wrong. Apologize for that profusely. Okay, we're going to create a new texture. Okay, you ready for this? We're going to create a 256 by 256 texture map. Okay, this is the way 3D Mentor taught me how to do it. He is the end all be all when it comes to texture mapping. So 256 by 256, we're going to hit create. This is going to be 100% tileable, okay? So we're going to go to colors, BNNYTO. Thank you for the follow. You are a gentleman and a scholar. So we're going to grab, okay, don't correct me on this, okay? We're going to grab a red color, okay? Just a darker kind of pinkish red. Okay, and we're going to go to edit, fill, foreground color. Boom. 100% tileable texture to start our model with. Alex Cervantes 21, I know that this is blowing your mind right now, but this texture map is 100% tileable, I promise you. I'm going to prove it right now. So I'm going to save this out as a target. We're right here under 3D modeling, my hydrant folder. We're going to call this red hydrant texture. .tga. We're going to hit save. That's going to save it as a 24-bit because it does not have an alpha map. Hit OK on that. We now have our red texture. So I'm going to mesh combine this whole thing. This one, this arm right here, though, it didn't have these nice hardened edges with this extra piece. I really wanted to get the chains on the entire thing, but we ran out of time. So I'm going to go mesh combine. And we're going to slide the pivot over. We do want this other arm on here to rotate it over. We're just about done, everybody, and we're going to put these up on Discord so we can share our beautiful models. But now I'm going to merge the whole thing because this is a speed model, so I am done. But I did want to do a 1-minute texture on this and be legit and not just change the material color. So I'm going to go to display, polygons, or sorry, display. Ooh, I got to hurry. Windows, rendering editors, Hypershade. Getting ahead of myself a little bit. We're going to make a new blend texture because eventually we would have some nice normals and specular on this. We're going to go to our color map, file. We're going to track down that beautiful tileable red texture we created. Teaching 3D modeling hydrant. There it is. Oh, and it look at that. That is a perfect tileable texture. Okay, and we're going to slide that onto our model. Hit down 6, and just like that, it's been textured. Thank you very much. Bada bing, bada boom. Low poly textured hydrant. Okay, we're going to snap a screenshot of this. We're going to post it up on Discord. This is a model that even Ryan Bound would be fond of. Actually, do you want to see something fun? Let me save this. So 3D Mentor. So 3D Mentor, Ryan Bound, I introduced him to this project several years ago when we were both in cohort 1 of the graduate program. And I taught the Art 2 class, and this is one of the project I did. When we would model this same fire hydrant in the graduate program, we wouldn't model it low poly like this. We'd actually do a high poly version. And if I crack open my my website, actually, I think I've got Ryan's model on here. Go to GabrielOlson.com. I'll tell you, Ryan, much like today, never does anything halfway. So I would do these speed models in class, and we do the high poly work, and he would sit by me and watch what I would do, and then he would go home that night and work. He would continue. He'd put another 8 to 10 hours into it. And so I gave this same assignment just as a modeling assignment for that first class. And let's see. And I get to put Ryan in as one of my students' work. So this is the version that Ryan made. Daventry 1701, yes. So this is the fire hydrant from one of the grad students, which is now a grad school teacher. Nay, he's a associate professor at the University of Utah, who also teaches a lot of our environment art classes, a lot of 3D modeling classes, and is an incredible artist in his own right. And so this he did actually as one of my students while we were going to school together. So this is so this is what this could look like if you put a lot more time into it. Daventry, do you have yours to show? It's another one of my students. I have given this assignment out for like 8 years now. maybe 9. And it never gets old. So like I said, this was the high poly smooth version. At Daventry, anybody watching, so this is the game asset class I'm teaching in Korea. So I'm actually not covering high poly modeling in this class. I'm trying to keep it simple to just low poly. So this is actually the first time today that I've done this model as just a complete low poly version, not going from high to low poly. But it's fun to change things up. That being said, go follow 3D Mentor. If you want to see good stuff. Also, shout out to Daventry. I hear he streams, but doesn't let anyone watch. And for those of you watching, especially my students who are into the League of Legends, the Rocket League, all those good games, Daventry is he's the esports director at the University of Utah. We were one of the first Pac-5 schools to offer an esports program in the United States. Another huge accolade to entertainment, arts, and engineering at the University of Utah. We are all about games. We're all about games, playing games, making games, sports games, all that stuff. Okay, so to all my students, we're gonna take a 10-minute break and come back at 11:30. I'm just gonna keep the Twitch on. We'll hop on in here. We'll take a look at your buildings just really quick, and these fire hydrants you just made, and then in 10 minutes, and then we will jump into building modeling. I'm gonna continue working on my low poly last tenement standing building, my little brownstone building, and answering your questions as you go along, and hopefully answering some of your questions while I actually do the project. So we will see work before game. I don't understand. So we will see you in a few minutes. Anyone eavesdropping or lurking or stopping by, you're welcome to hang out with us. Like I said to all my students, we'll be doing a Zoom call for the first class of tomorrow, and I will be opening up your projects in Maya and going over them with you and talking about them. And then after that, we'll go back to Twitch, where I will be working on that building, same type of building model, and talking about it. And then, of course, the next day is lab day. So we're at the tail end of this class. So we'll see everybody in a few minutes. So like I say, 11:30, we'll be back. Listen to the chill music and relax.
There are a lot of smoothies out there vying for your attention by promising a myriad of health benefits. But although they're touted as super nutritious, many smoothies are packed with sugar. When you need a nutritious beverage without all the sugar, go with V8. With 1/3 the amount of sugar as the leading smoothie and a full serving of veggies in every 5-ounce can. It's the nutritious beverage that you can count on. V8, the original plant-powered drink. Veg Up. Tap to buy now.
If you want an SUV that's on the move like you, check out the first ever Encore GX. It's finally here, and it offers advanced tech features to help you make your fast-paced life look easy. Visit Buick.com for great offers on the Encore GX.
With original and award-winning entertainment and all your favorites, plus new movies to fall in love with each week, HBO Max bundles all of HBO, together with even more movies, series, plus new Max originals. That wasn't a joke, but we have comedy too. Start your free trial now. Find out more at hbomax.com. HBO Max, where HBO meets so much more. Free trial is for new customers only. Restrictions apply.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's about 11:30 here now in Utah. Got the soothing sounds of Spotify ringing lusciously in the background as we check out some student progress this evening. I get loopy at night as well. Okay, so Daventry, who was here before, wanted to share his fire hydrant from a few years ago. We were able to track that down on the old Facebooks. So like I say, here was 3D Mentors. And then here is Daventry 1701, his fire hydrant. Back when I was teaching the game art for producers class at the University of Utah in cohort 3 of the graduate program. Daventry, who is now our esports director and all-around amazing human being, created this beautiful model. Alex Cervantes says woot, and I agree. Okay, so here's the battle plan for tonight. I'm going to continue working on my model. If any of my students have questions, please reach out and ask them. Let's see, here are some of your models that we just worked on. That obviously is the one I posted. This is nice. Notice you got the same seamless red texture, so that's a good job. This looks like maybe you chose a different style of fire hydrant. Totally allowed, totally allowed. And Gloria's fire hydrant, this is really nice. So you found your own model off the internet and you modeled it very well. Really good. The silhouette's outstanding. You have a lot of the shape language is all intact and awesome. So very good job. So some of you, I think, hadn't posted. So you need some help on making the roof shapes and fixing the open spaces on the bottom. I'm happy to help you out. Oh, look at that. Nook's Cranny. This is fantastic. You're coming along nicely. Oh, so the roof shape. So this roof shape. Let's work on that roof shape. I'm happy to work on that with you. Couple different ways of doing that, but we'll look at that. Can you send me this image of your background? We'll look at that today. But the overall shape and all the design is coming along really nice. Like I said, tomorrow we'll actually open up your files and give you better feedback. Chaewon, this is great that you're getting the sidewalk and the grass all laid in. Very nice. Daventry says that's way fun. I love it. And then Gloria is working on Minnie Mouse's house from Disneyland and the details she's put into it. Daventry, Alex, anyone just watching this, these students have been introduced to 3D and Maya for the first time less than 3 weeks ago. So they're about 2.5 weeks into modeling. Never opened up 3D software before.
There's crispy.
Yeah, they're pretty fantastic. I was telling them this earlier, but these 3-week courses, these condensed courses, I'm blown away at how fast they progress and how much they learn. I think they have a different perspective being on the other end of it, but me being a teacher, what impresses me so much is they're doing homework every single night for 3 weeks. And yeah, I am so impressed with how fast they've progressed. So this is their final project. They did a low poly character. Half of them even got those characters into Mixamo and animated them. So we did a low poly character with textures, and now we're doing a low poly building assignment. Oh, there's Nook's Cranny. Perfect. I'm going to save this out. And I'm going to show you at least one way that you can model out this this roof texture. Okay, so for my students in the class, we'll hop into, you feel free to start working on your projects. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to have a Zoom call at the beginning of class, and we will open up each of your assignments and look at them from the inside. Then I can give you some direct feedback and you can speak directly to me. And we'll go over each of your projects. During that time, I can give you feedback, and then the rest of the class will be open lab time. And then day 15, the last day of class, is all of yours to work on your projects. And I, of course, will be available for any questions and to give you answers. All right, so we're back into the tenement. All right, here is that last tenement I was working on the other night. It's got this beautiful texture on top. But let's look at that cranny. That you're asking how to model the roof textures for that that. Okay, view image. So here is Nook's house. Okay, so this has this nice corrugated shape to it. It looks like it's fully 3D, meaning that it has this texture over it, but these are actually fully textured. And there's one more overlapping it, which kind of looks like it actually is 3D hanging over it. So let's go over one way that we could produce this roof texture on here. So let's see. So one way we could do that, let's just make this easy on ourselves before I get too tired tonight, is we could just make this corrugated shape first. So let's do that. Okay, so I am going to what the easiest way to do that. Let's do it this way. Here's my first thought. Just to use plane. Scale this out and we can see where I keep this very low poly, which I probably. We're just going to take a plane and move the vertices shape. Probably going to keep this a little lower poly than this one actually is. And if we make these match, then we can just duplicate it. So let's see. Okay, so here is that corrugated shape that we just made, and immediately we don't need to be that high poly, so I'm just gonna get rid of part of it. Now the easiest way to duplicate it, I think, would just say we actually don't need this piece. Don't need this piece because what I want to do is just snap these the size that I need them. I'm going to put the pivot up here and we'll see what happens when I Control D and snap a new one over here. You can see it lines up pretty well. Ends up perfectly. So now I can repeat this whole thing. And this is pretty high poly. Did you show them the power generator art test, you and your buddies? I didn't, actually. I haven't done that. This has been an action-packed 3 weeks. I should show them that one, shouldn't I? That was a good lesson. So here is, here's that roof, right? So this is the roof. So I could actually now just combine all these, sew the vertices on. This could be a lot lower poly than it is. This could mostly be a texture, but I think this is actually modeled out. So I think if I wanted to do it even lower, like I think I could get rid of, no, I can't get rid of that. Sad. So we have 3 defining that circle on the bottom and 3 on top. You mean you can make a low poly and soften the edge? Yeah. So that's kind of what we're doing here. Sure, I don't have it. And keep in mind, I am getting really loopy at night. I want to look at border edges. Yep, so that is all smoothed out. So this goes all the way across. This one kind of loops back down. I'm going to leave it for the moment. If we wanted this to go all the way across the whole building, loop to it. We're just playing around. I'm testing how I think it should go, and I think this is pretty accurate. V snaps. You also see all these little magnets up here on top. These all turn on and off snapping as well. So the one with the little grid is snap to grid, snap to curves, snap to points. And V snaps to points. So if you notice, I hold down V and it turns on that little magnet. So now if I want this to be my model, I do a couple things. Let's look at this. Let's make this match pretty. This match is pretty close. You can see that the image is a little bit turned. But maybe if I really, that one should point back down. So let's do this. I'm going to move these, scooch these over just a little bit. There. Yep. So this is about the height of the building. They come down on each side like they do. That's it. Yep, so that match is pretty darn close. So now that I have that, there's a couple things I should do. I think one thing I'm going to do, just in case I mess this up, I'm just going to scale it down. So what this has is, it's kind of like got this double thickness to it. So if I just hit extrude, and I can maybe just extrude up. Let's see how that works. Yeah, I'm just going to extrude up a little bit. Bada bing, bada boom. And now it has this lip on this side. So I'm going to try and recreate that really quick. So to do that, I'm going to do another copy of this. I will just snap this end, D and V right there. I'm going to try and snap this one up to this end. There we go. So that's where that lip kind of comes up in the middle. So you can see that nice edge. Now it looks like it didn't match perfectly, which makes me super sad. Makes me sad and angry. Let's see if I can do that better. That actually matches up a lot better. Oh, because I matched it up to that top part. Okay. So that matches a lot better. Now, I don't need any of this underside. So I'm going to select probably from about here. So I'm going to delete that one. Try and make this somewhat low poly. Delete that one. Select all the way across. Boom. Save some of these polygons. Hit delete. I actually don't need any of this either, because this I'm going to tuck into a cube. Show you in just a second. Just to get rid of as many polygons as I can. Now what I could do, and I probably should do, is actually go and merge all these on. But I don't need any of these ones either. Let's have a gap on it. They don't need any of these ones. Together. Probably don't even need that one, but keep it on just for anger's sake. Okay, delete all that. What's the smiley? What's the frowning face for, Mr. Cervantes? Okay, and so we've made that whole shape. Mr. Cervantes really wanted these to be softened. Agreed. So there's that corrugated steel for the top of this. Then you notice it has these, basically it's kind of a cube shaped up top. So that's where these can all just butt up right into it. And so I'm going to create that as well. And I'll just start with a cube. Fix it in a little bit. They actually modeled all that. You can see the tessellation. So let's do this. Let's bring this cube up here, and we'll do it just like the image. Says unrelated but related, she misses Korea. To that I say you and me both. So actually Fahrenheit 350, for anyone that's wondering, that's actually my wife. And we were supposed to be in Korea right now, and we are both very, very upset about it.
And now we're drinking Tito's handmade vodka. It's 100% corn and certified gluten-free. Tito's handmade vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume or 80 proof.
Here we go. So we're going to tuck this in here. And the way they did this, and I think they're for good reason, is this comes all the way past this so that the edges can stick right in there. Okay. It's actually not that far, so I'm going to slide all these down just a little bit, because I think it's probably a little bit about there. Show you why. Okay, and I am going to delete most of the faces on this because we don't need them. Isn't this fun? This is fun to me. Okay, there we go. And you know what? I don't think I need that either. So I'm going to make these all triangles. Because why not? Show you why again. I think they're all going to attach. Don't, we'll fix it. See how it goes. Okay, so there is the roof, okay? Depending on how wide we need it. This guy, we'll hang it over there. So now I need to make it tilt, right? So these ones, I'm gonna merge all these together. We'll do mesh combine. Okay, and it depends how wide it needs to be, but this is just to give you, give you an example of how to do it. So now I'm going to move it up to the top here. And I think because of the angle, it actually is tapering in because of perspective, but I think it would be something like this. But now I can just take it, rotate it down. It needs to be. If I look at the image and pretend that this is the right length, something like that. And then if we wanted to go to the other side, which we're going to have to fix, we'll just do it this way. Snap this one over here. Oops. This is not going to be a perfect mirror, but what else? Transform. Freeze transforms, dude. And we will just take this one and go wee back over. So it didn't work exactly how I wanted. Those aren't matching up because I didn't mirror it. And then these, I should have left those sides on, but we can fix that. So I'm just going to control D. I'm going to see if I can go back far enough. Those will be fixed. Can I have enough? Do I have enough reductions? Yes, 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 yes. Close, close. Okay. Let's try this again. Keep those all cubic. Mesh combine. Now we'll move the pivot over and into place. Down. Transformations. Okay, now Z, I'm going to go to edit, duplicate special. We're just going to make a copy, but on Z, I want it to scale -1. Apply. Bada bing, bada boom. So that is pretty darn close. So this, obviously, this needs to be patched up, which is easy enough. But that is a really good way to hit those roofs. Does that make sense to everybody? Combine. I'm gonna do some major repair in here. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. Because I don't like this hot mess in here. I can fix it all. So this is me not just saying things are good enough. Continuing to go because I can't help it myself. I've just decided to delete all these and start from scratch because we can do this. More efficiency. So we'll have these gaps right here. But I think what I'll actually do is Just add an edge loop right here. Because this will just add one polygon instead of the many more that I had before. Add one right here. Merge these together. Now I can just append up here. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Cool. Polygon, boop doom. Beneath these guys too. Clean and clean. So then you'll notice there's this these buttons up here, these nails up top. You can add those too. We'll just grab a cylinder. Yep. So filling those empty spaces like something like this. So what I did is I did the append to polygon tool. So hold down shift, right click, append to polygon. I select one of the edges and then the other side that I want to fill up. Then hit Y and it resets the tool. Here, I'm gonna make so I'm gonna take this sphere, change the subdivision height to less. Change this to like 5 maybe. The other thing, I like to use cubes too and smooth them once. So we'll try that too. So I take a cube and just go mesh smooth, just smooth it one time. These are a lot easier to unwrap. Just take that, and then this would become that button, that nail. So just looking at the reference image, all these little buttons on it. Not buttons, they're go. Nook's Cranny. And I think those actually tilt more. But so you would tilt them more before. But you get the idea, right? All right, so let's get back. so we can save all that stuff. So now we can do a save as. So I saved it. We're going to do a save as last tenement 004 instead of a my.mb. I just like my ASCII's better. I feel like they work better. Save as my ASCII. Now I can delete all that stuff, and it was saved previously, so it's still there if you ever want to see it again. All right, now where were we on this bad boy? So I'm going to start blocking in some more of this stuff. These bottom ones have a different shape to them. Naming conventions. Daventry's here to help. Yes, naming conventions are important. And the cool beats when you listen to music. So I think I'm going to look for some texture for this metal roof. So it's kind of got this dark color. So that's the only thing so far that's not textured. I need some more textures. Little building here. Happy little building. And I wonder if I could use the same textures up here for this darker spot. We'll see. That seems like it should be metal awning. So let's grab the old Google. We'll go to textures.com. Place to get all your texture needs. Go. Got PBRs, we got all sorts. So here's some roofing materials too. So you could probably have found, let's look in here. Let's look for some corrugated roof. Let's see, plates, other metal. Let's look at metal. Seems like they should have, so here's corrugated. So here's like an actual picture of, can't even see it very well. The actual pictures of a corrugated roof. Like those new leaf textures, only those are stylized and pretty. Rusty. Okay, so we need metal. We could find a roof metal, but it seemed pretty flat, but let's, metal roofing. Let's see, so on this roof, really hard to see, but it probably does have some kind of overlapping metal on it. I'm sure it's not just perfect plain metal. So we could just pick one. Could do something like that. I want something like plain though. That could work. That could work. Could just darken it up in Photoshop. You know what? Let's just look up metal. Let's just find a flat metal texture. We just type up metal. We have 5,863 metal textures. We just want plain metal. Stay away from this little PBR stuff. That one is actually super cool, but it's so scratchy. We want something that's a little flatter. This pounded metal is pretty cool. I don't think that matches either. This one actually looks pretty good. It's more of a shiny metal.
Try the crispiest Tyson crispy chicken strips ever crisped. Crispy made.
Oh, here's a nice corrugated metal. Look at that. For tin rooftop.
You've got a great idea. You know it'll work, but nobody else believes in you. Would you open 19 credit cards to make it happen? Tito Beverage did, and now we're drinking Tito's handmade vodka. It's 100% corn and certified gluten-free. Tito's handmade vodka. Bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume.
Flat metal.
To be savored responsibly.
I think this one's pretty close. We'll just darken it up. Seamless, 1 credit. We'll buy it. 1024 by 1024. We're on it. Textures.com. Metal textures, my friend. Gonna cut that. Boom. Gonna put it in our modeling last tenement textures folder. Paste. And I think I'm actually gonna open it up in Photoshop. I'm gonna darken it up. Gonna go to the old hue and saturation and darken it up a smidge. Try that out. Saved it. Let's add it to our scene. We'll worry about the UVs and everything later. Obviously, we'll worry about like adding more texture differentials to it later. But let's we'll UV it. Let's create a render. And actually, let's make Devontree extra happy. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna save it as dark metal 01. We'll leave it as a PNG because I don't care that much. Window rendering editors, Hypershade. You can see how all of my materials are named properly because we want to name them. Open up another blend. We're gonna name this dark metal. We'll even name dark metal A, which we should have done on the other one, but file, folder. Last tenement textures, dark metal. Drag and drop that on there. Boom, we got the dark metal. That does not look too bad. Now let's UV unwrap it. Look at those beautiful UVs. They look pretty good. Modify freeze transformations, first of all. And then we will just UV automatical. Yes. See, already those look better. But I'm the kind of weirdo likes to adjust my UVs. Tops to combine. Boom, boom. Okay, so that's pretty simple. That's our for this guy. Hold down J, we can rotate. Scale it. Yep. Better. But it needs some love, but now. Okay, so coming along. At least it looks like the building we're trying to make, right? So next on the agenda, a few things. This one has a seal that goes all the way across, which is kind of cool. We can make all that as one piece. This one has these pieces with like a little ledge that like birds could land on and poop in your window if they wanted to. Those are all the same pieces, so we can make those as one. I'm going to go into my front view, like you do. I think I'm just going to box model this in. Let's grab us a box. We'll take it easy. Yep. Hide anything I accidentally grab. Create an edge of the side. And our first fatal error of the night. Oh my gosh, dude, how about you push Control Save a little bit more? I have never had as many errors So let's see how lucky we get. How good is Maya at finding saving some of your file? And during that, let's take a little drink of kombucha. Close down Photoshop. I'm gonna reopen Maya. All right, so which one should we teaching? Modeling last 10 minute. I'm gonna try it. Let's see what happens, my friends. Lost our metal. Star metal. Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna see. Yes, it's got dark metal to it. Well, our bacon was saved again. Look at that. It's even got this junky thing I was just making. So we will kindly save this as our bacon was saved. It used to be you were guaranteed to lose all your work. Maya seems to be better at like getting its crap together and saving a version of it temporarily when it crashes. Is now last 10 minutes 005. What do I want to do with this? This is curious. How high poly do I want to go? We will leave this for a moment. But this one, think at how I could easily do this. One moment. I've got a call from 3D Mentor. Hello? All right. Sorry you guys missed out on the gossip. It was insane. Okay, so here's the question. What do I want to do with this? So this kind of looks like... So looking at the image, I could go either way. Kind of looks like it's a block that just extrudes out. But it does look like it has a gap in between it. Which almost like it sucks in and out or has just a loop. I think I'm just going to do what's best. Which I think means... Okay, I'm just going to extrude it out and in a little. So I'm just going to do this. We're just guesstimating. And we're trying to do this like clean and simple. So if I do this, then I think what I can do is just paint some of it like a darker color around the edges when I finally texture it. If I texture it. Be like magic. Okay. That works for that. Now let's, what I want to do here too is simplify. This is just too much. I'm going to go to my, not that, explode everything. I'm going to go to my multi-cut tool, out some of this so that I can remove this entirely. Right, because I don't need that. Don't need any of these back faces. Those are so very unnecessary. They can only do you harm. That means what I can do is looking back at that reference image, you can tell some of it extrudes out even more. There is this spot that extrudes out. This extrudes out a little bit. It's got these niches on niches. I call them niches. So I think what we're gonna do is instead of niching them, I'm just gonna go low poly on this. So I'm just gonna delete this. On this one. That means I don't need this at all anymore. So I think what I'll do is take this and extrude this out slightly. Extrude these.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka.
These ones out a lot a bit.
Success doesn't happen in a vacuum. Thank you for believing in me. We wouldn't be where we are.
Something like that. Now I need to reduce the whole
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
Tito's Vodka.com. Keep those polys low. Keep them low. Keep them low.
Summer is open, and Lowe's is home for the 4th of July. This year, make your back...
Stop it. Stop it, dude. It's these ones.
Get the Charbroil 5-burner gas grill now, just $1.99. Then, fire up the eats and enjoy every bite outside with select patio furniture and outdoor decor, up to 15% off. Whatever you dream up for this 4th at home, visit Lowe's to make it the best it can be. Valid through 7/8 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Let's reduce all these yahoos. This one can just go like that. Why do you just merge? So we just want to keep this as low polygon as possible. There we go. So now we can bring this all boom. Start building back, and we can bring these out here. Okay, as you can see, I need some adjusting going on here. I'm just gonna tuck them in. Like you do. Like you do. Okay, now let's do some unwrapping. We're just gonna give it the, I'm gonna hit Control Save. Seems like a good idea. 3D Mentor, thanks for your raid, party of 8. I think half of you were probably already. Once again, 3D Mentor is another professor at the University of Utah who teaches game art and design. A general okay fellow. And one of my former students, he modeled this. I mean this. In my Game Art 1 class. I think it was the first time I actually introduced the fire hydrant model. It's a concrete texture. You see it does not look good because this bad boy needs to be unwrapped. Let's check out our UV editor. Bada bing, bada boom. We will just go to a UV automatic. We could even leave that just as odd. Look at that. Look how nice that is. It's kind of nice. It's okay. Wonder though, did I need to freeze transformations? Modify. Let's see if this looks any different. Freeze transforms, UV, automatic. They do. They look completely different. That looks so less stretched, so lovely. Look at that. Lovely concrete texture on there. Later on, we might use a more light concrete. For now, it's okay. Let's do some UV editing though. Our little precipice. You see it nicely kept all of that centerpiece together. So, not begrudge it. So moving. So inside pieces like you do. Side pieces like that is looking pretty good. Let's say we're almost there. What are we missing? These little yahoos. Little buddies right here. The beautiful thing about these type of textures, unless we want to do something unique later, is they all, you can overlap them if they are tileable textures. Which means if it's tiling textures, a lot of times what that means is you'll have to add more detail in here to make them fit right. But now that we've got these three, they're doing their thing, we will just move them over. And I think those, it looks like there's more shadow underneath than it's really showing. Kind of makes me think that this face should actually be out farther. Oh no. Oh no! Oh my goodness, 3D Mentor, it's your fault. Fatal error. This is pretty Maya of Maya to do. Let's see. We gotta dodge the bullet again. I think that deserves a chug of. I never do. Not big. I'll send it. This next time I'll send it just for you, Alex. But I figure, what's the point? This is the 2018 version of Maya. Are they really gonna fix the 2018? Are they just gonna worry about 2020? Maybe that's very negative of me. You have 2018. I have never crashed this much in all my days. Okay, let's try. We'll just do this one. Look at that. Look at that. Boom, I didn't even lose anything. Let's do a save as. Or are you going to crash again? I think it's going to crash again. I think it's going to crash because I tried to do it. All right, now version 006. All I tried to do was move that face out a little bit further, like this. And Maya said, that is too complex a procedure. Okay. Hit Control S on that. Okay, so let's do something a little crazy and duplicate this guy a couple times. Move it into the next. Look at that. This is my bad. These windows are not all the same size. That, I don't know what to think about that. I feel like third one. When I work on this later, what I might do, I'm probably gonna end up unifying all these windows so they're exact same width. Duplicate pieces of it, because eventually I'm gonna want to add corner texture. I'm gonna add unique strips of tileable texture along the sides that will meet those. But for now, we're just cruising along. Okay. So there's our building. It's got more window decor. So these look like the same pieces underneath these windows as are up top here. So I think if I create this, I could just chop them up, move them down below, and then these match these ones. So that will be a lot. So let's to control save. Dun, dun, dun. Sleepy. Getting sleepy. I'm gonna let these ones clip up through the window so it goes back to the kind of like it has a seal on it. Just seems nice, you know, like that's the way you're intended. I could be wrong. Let's go into side view here. Crazy Lindsay 9, thank you for the follow, my friend. So let's do this. Let's do it. Snug like a bug, you know, just snugged in there. So this piece looks like it's like got a quarter round followed by an extrusion. So I'm just going to assume perhaps that's what it is. That's what it looks like to me, which would mean this as cheaply as possible. Come on, object mode. Thank you very much. Looks like, this is what it looks like to me. Maybe I'm just crazy. Okay, it looks like an extrusion. This bit looks like, just do this. You know what, make a control save first before I try. I'm going to try, I don't like doing this. Don't like doing this at all. But I'm going to try and bevel this edge. Not my favorite thing, but it seems to be working. So let's go to, okay, let's do fractions, segments, depth. Good enough. I'm just gonna go with this. So, okay, so we just need to reduce our poly count. This one, I'm just gonna do something weird. What? See how low poly we can. Boom. Multi-cut tool. Got quad here and a triangle there, and live with it. We'll live with the ugliness. Actually, it's not that ugly. It's fine. Keeping it as low as possible. This day and age. Same thing. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. Make sure these edges are soft. Yes. I think we'll live with this. We'll call this okay. Okay. Here we go. Which means I think this could come out further. I think it's a little bit. To this crash, my friends. We got a thumbs up from Alex. That means we're doing okay. Control save. We're going to save this. Let's do a little bit of UV unwrapping. I'm going to go to our render editors, Hypershade. And I'm not going to stop talking, man. I'm going to talk. I'm not going to ever stop talking. Modify freeze transformations. Delete history. We don't want any information connected to these polygons while we unwrap. That would be terrible. Go to our UV editor here. This is the garbage UVs we have right now. I'm going to click on UV automatic. Bada bing, bada boom. We have these long, slender, beautiful UVs. Slide these off to the side so I can take a look at them, see what we're messing with. Rotate them over. And pretty groovy. See where they didn't stick together. Places like that. Bada bing, bada boom. That is it, my friends. That is unwrapped. Okay. Now, what we can do is reuse. Reuse, reuse, reuse. They look like they are twins. They're just smaller versions underneath each windowsill. Control D, snap this down. Now here's the trick. If I don't want to re-unwrap any of this, okay? Because that would be more work. So to keep the UVs the same, I'll just break out my buddy, the Insert Edge Loop tool. Cut it to about where I think it should go. Like so. And then I will just go into face mode. Just take care of the sides. Bada bing, bada boom. Now these corner pieces already unwrapped. I'm just going to go into face mode. Yeah, we'll just hold down V now. Snap them here to the edges, the ends. Under vertices and so. Now, if it's something that I feel is really important, that I really want these back edges sewn on, whatevs. I'll grab them, move and sew. It's done. So now those are UV'd. Now I can select them, slide them over into positions. Select all three of those, slide them up into position. And our building is getting, how do you say, decorated? I think that's how you say it. Okay, so let's talk about this piece. What is the deal with that? Is that extruded? Is that popping out? Or is that flush with the brick? And then it also looks like it has these segments on it. The easiest thing would be to have it be an extrusion. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the easy road here. Okay, so let's grab our building. Create a cubage. My buddy the cube. Come on, buddy. Kitty snap. Snap it up. Yeah. Make my life as easy as possible. Say it extrudes maybe that much. Not very much. Snap it right against the wall. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, let's look at let's look in the old viewport here. Move her into position like you do. And we're just going to call this good for the moment. Now keep in mind, I have to UV unwrap this. That is going to be a bear. This is going to be one of the toughest UV unwrap jobs, I think, of this entire project. So give it a shot. And we're done. It wasn't easy. I haven't stuck my new texture on either. Actually not done. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. It took some forethought. What did I do? Look at what I did to my model though. Well, I did something weird. I like moved and sewed something wrong. That was kind of funny. Whew. Can you repeat the last? I don't know what I did, bro. I totally messed it up. It's really late. It's almost 1 o'clock. Oh, look at that. Look how nice that looks though. Not perfect. It's coming along. It's coming along. What's weird is this little dog house on the right. I think there's some little boiler room door there. Let's go down there to like the boiler room. Must have had to be strategic when they tore. All right, my friends. For anyone in my class, keep up the good work. Hope everyone's doing well working on your buildings. Hopefully you'll find, like, when I'm unwrapping and building out these little things, it's helpful for everyone. I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to put up a couple of assignments. One is a place on Canvas for you to drop off your Maya files and your texture files for tomorrow, so we can get feedback in class. Like I said, the beginning of the class will be a Zoom meeting, followed by Twitch afterwards, where I will continue modeling this and answering any of your questions that you have about your building. Everybody have a wonderful day and night, whatever it may be. See you tomorrow. Mr. Cervantes, 3D Mentor is done, right? Yeah, because he. All right, everybody, have a good night. See you tomorrow.